The financial world throws 8 different investment types at you before you have even opened a brokerage account. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, index funds, commodities, crypto, options. Each one sounds different, most of them overlap, and none of them come with a plain English explanation. This video fixes that. One definition per investment type, one sentence each. Then the 3 mistakes that destroy most beginner portfolios before they ever get started. Part 1. The 8 investment types. Stocks. Higher risk, higher potential return. A stock is a small piece of ownership in a company. If the company grows, your piece is worth more. If it collapses, your piece is worth less or nothing. You profit 2 ways: the share price going up and dividends, the company's way of sharing profits with you. Bonds. Lower risk, lower return, fixed income. A bond is a loan you give to a government or company. They borrow your money for a set period and pay you regular interest in return. At the end, you get your principal back. Bonds are less exciting than stocks, and that is exactly the point. They add stability. Mutual funds. Pooled, managed, priced once per day. A mutual fund pools money from thousands of investors, and a professional manager uses it to buy a collection of stocks, bonds, or both. You buy in for a dollar amount, not a share count, and the price updates once per day after markets close. Many charge higher fees because of the active management. ETFs, exchange-traded funds. Like a mutual fund, but trades all day like a stock. An ETF holds a basket of assets, stocks, bonds, or commodities, exactly like a mutual fund. The difference? It trades on the stock exchange throughout the day at a live price, just like an individual stock. Most ETFs are passively managed, which means lower fees. Vanguard's average ETF expense ratio is 0.07%. The industry average for actively managed funds is 0.44%. The gap compounds significantly over 30 years. Index funds. Tracks the market, does not try to beat it. An index fund is a mutual fund, or ETF, that simply mirrors a market index. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the total stock market. It does not pick stocks. It holds all of them in proportion. The entire strategy is, the market goes up over time, so own the whole market at low cost. Warren Buffett's instruction to the trustee of his wife's estate was 90% S&P 500 index fund. That is the endorsement. Commodities. Physical assets. Oil, gold, grain, metals. Commodities are physical goods. Crude oil, gold, silver, wheat, copper, natural gas. You do not hold barrels of oil. You invest through commodity ETFs, futures contracts, or stocks in companies that produce them. Commodities often move opposite to stocks, which makes them useful for balancing a portfolio during inflation or market stress. Cryptocurrency. Highest volatility, speculative by nature. Cryptocurrency is a digital asset with no physical form and no government backing. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the largest. Prices are driven by supply, demand, and sentiment, not earnings, dividends, or cash flow. Bitcoin has dropped 70 to 80% multiple times in its history before recovering. If you invest in crypto, understand you are speculating, not investing in the traditional sense. Position size accordingly. Options. Contracts, not ownership, for experienced investors. An option is a contract that gives you the right, but not the obligation, to buy or sell an asset at a specific price before a set date. They can be used to hedge against losses or to speculate on short-term moves. Options have expiry dates. If the move does not happen in time, the contract expires worthless. They are powerful tools and dangerous in the wrong hands. Not a starting point for beginners. Subscribe. A new finance and career breakdown every week. The 3 mistakes that hurt beginners most are next. Mistake 1. Panic selling when the market drops. This is the most expensive mistake in investing, and it is driven entirely by emotion. When markets fall, and they will fall, the instinct is to get out and wait for things to stabilize. The problem: by the time things stabilize, prices have already recovered, and you are buying back in at a higher price than you sold at. Morgan Stanley data shows that someone who stayed fully invested in the S&P 500 from 1980 through February 2025 earned a 12% average annual return. Missing just the 10 best single days in the market over that period cuts the return in half. Most of those best days happen in the middle of the worst weeks. Selling locks and losses that time would have reversed. The only people who get hurt by a market drop are the ones who sell during it. Mistake 2. Trying to time the market. Timing the market means waiting for the perfect moment to buy and the perfect moment to sell. Every professional investor tries this. Most fail. In June 2023, analysts at Deutsche Bank predicted a near 100% chance of a U.S. recession within 12 months. The S&P 500 then rose more than 25% in the following 12 months. The market does not move on logic. It moves on the collective sentiment of millions of people, none of whom know what is happening next. The correct response to uncertainty is not to wait. It is to invest consistently through it. Dollar cost averaging, putting in a fixed amount on a regular schedule regardless of price, removes the timing decision entirely and has historically outperformed lump sum timing attempts for most individual investors. Mistake 3. Betting on single stocks instead of the whole market. The appeal of picking individual stocks is the fantasy of finding the next Amazon before everyone else. The reality, most professional fund managers with full research teams do not consistently beat the index. Individual investors picking stocks alone face much steeper odds. Putting a large portion of your portfolio into one company or one sector means a single bad earnings report, a regulatory change, or an industry shift can cut your net worth significantly in a single day. A broad market index fund owns 500 companies simultaneously. If one collapses, 499 others continue. The diversification is not a limitation. It is the entire point. Start with the boring, broad, low-cost option. Let it compound. Add complexity only after you understand what you already own. 9 investment types. 3 mistakes. The financial world is not complicated. It is just badly explained. A stock is ownership. A bond is a loan you give. An ETF is a basket that trades like a stock. An index fund tracks the whole market at low cost. And the 3 things that destroy most beginners before they ever build real wealth: selling in a panic, waiting for the perfect moment, and betting everything on one name. Boring, diversified, and consistent beats, exciting, concentrated, and reactive every time. Which of these 9 investment types are you actually using right now or want to understand better? Drop it in the comments.